I got to get the microphone. I had already tucked it away. Turns out on this day where I'm celebrating freedom, I'm also free to take one from Robert because, Robert, thank you for everything as always. I grew weed. It appears to be messaging that Robert and myself, for sure, can get behind. So, in embracing freedom and liberty, taking the binds, the chains, taking the cannabis out of its cage, freeing it to the masses, I still think some light potency gummies would do my dad right. But he's positive reefer madness is going to enslave us all.
They sent me to prison for 5 years for growing weed.
Oh, shit.
And when I got out, it was legal. It's hard to imagine all the pain and suffering caused by antiquated law.
Yeah, no, I was just happy. He doesn't know. He doesn't know I exist anymore. But Happy was doing time. They gave him a year per hit. That incredible felony just slapped decades on dude for acid. And now we're microdosing. Now, Silicon Valley tech execs are microdosing LSD for medical reasons and shit like performance enhancing LSD, microdosing, whatever. So, yeah, the drug laws have always been a little skewed. But thanks for the generation who was positive reefer madness was real. Yeah, no, fuck hemp paper. Let's keep cutting trees down. Yeah, that's smart.
All the pain and suffering caused by antiquated laws. I didn't grow the most weed. Of course, I did grow some of the best.
Oh, integrity. You gotta have some integrity. Integrity Farms. Love it. That is a nice looking Robert. I would love to crunch that baby up and just smoke that. I would really like to smoke one with you before it's all done. Not just vicariously through the fucking reactions.
The most weed. Of course, I did grow some of the best.
Let's get some. We better,
I grew weed for Will and
Okay, this is that is a cassette player. Man. Nothing like taking me back a ways.
I grew weed for Willie Nelson. I grew weed for Snoop Dogg. I grew weed for the love of freedom. I grew weed for God. And I grew weed for New York City. I grew weed for LA. I grew weed for the great state of Texas. I grew weed for the USA. And I grew weed for little Billy Clinton, though he did not inhale. I grew a whole bunch for heaven and a little bit for hell. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed.
Hey, but that's okay. You get the peaceful hippie farmers out of the racket. You can get the cartels to run it all. I hear they actually like supplying them with weapons and shit anyways. So honestly, the alphabet agencies are probably working with the cartels to, overtake the whole thing. Turns out the black market really likes holding on to its cash. Who knew? Who knew that the shadow economy existed in such strong positions? Hey, weed. There's one of them. I think they got a... I wonder, this guy probably wasn't, putting I'm pretty sure all the sneezing is from the pesticides and bullshit they're putting in it now. That's, I think.
Seeds, I grew weed.
I smoke weed.
I grew weed for the FBI. I grew weed for the DEA. I grew weed for the lawyers to make it illegal.
Always. Always taking a little constitutional. Just, and then, man, I wonder if they I can understand playing some music for them, but that is some all natural horticulture in there, or botany, gardening, naked gardening. Yes, that makes the weed grow strong.
Legal someday. And I grew weed for the prisons who locked me away. I grew weed for the snitches just to give them bitches something to say. And I grew weed for Wiz Khalifa. Well, I was on the inside. Folks say, how could you do that? Well, I did it with my mind. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed. I grew weed for my neighbors. I grew weed for my friends. I grew weed for Martha Stewart, Joe and Seth Rogen. And I grew weed for Beyonce, Rihanna, Jay-Z and crew. I grew weed for your mama and your daddy too. I grew weed for the sick.
Oh, Dad and Sick come back to back in this song. Perfect. And let's go with the criminality instead. Because it's funny how many people actually, it's cool, right? It's cool for that certain influencer group. They get to puff the fucking reefer as much as they want. Like a free pass. They must enjoy their freedom and liberty immensely. While other people have to, go around and get ripped off in an alley somewhere. That's awesome. No, I like this. This is fun. This is good.
Daddy too. I grew weed for the sick. Grew it for the poor. I grew a little for my own head, and then I grew some more. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed. I grow a lot on the farm today, but I don't grow weed no more. Now that it's illegal, I just buy it from the store. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed. I grew weed. Big old buds from little bitty seeds. I grew weed.
Okay. Warning, the next scene may cause some viewers to become extremely pissed off. I gotta believe I'm in that category. Reactionary anger is something I have plenty. I'm holding a full house there.
Now that's a fun song, but you know what isn't fun? Going to prison. And that is why I am calling for the immediate release of all marijuana prisoners, the federal descheduling of cannabis, and the full pardon of all marijuana convicts, because no one should be in prison for weed, and no one should be held back in life because of a criminal record for a plant. And if you feel the way I do, please join me in sending this message to the president. The time to act is now.
The irony is they're going to put that cackling first lady, not first lady, VP. Our awesome VP. How many people she put away for weed? Ha! Ha! I hear that was one of her big things. She was real proud of that. Hey, you lightweight criminals. Here, we'll get you. You're easy to get. You're stoned and slow. But boy, man, I see methies everywhere. Just living in their own filth, covered in sores. I don't see anybody bugging them. Oh. Yeah, that didn't piss me off at all. As an ex-con, I would probably agree with that 100%. Happy freedom, baby. And let's give it to the people who actually deserve it. Later.